So how are you guys? Welcome back. So as I had promised, I said I was going to make another video explaining the isometric box. So let me just do a rough sketch of what an isometric box looks like. So this will be your box. So mostly this box is usually a square. Why do we say a square? Because you are given a certain radius of a circle or a certain diameter, right? So you use that diameter to make your square. So if a diameter of a circle is, let's say, around 15 millimeters, it means that that box is also, that square is also going to have a length of 15 millimeters and a radius of half of 15, that's 7.5, right? That will be it, right? So I've just written there that the isometric box is usually square in nature because it usually deals with a circle, right? So now let's create our own question. Given a circle, that sign just means diameter, right? So let me just write diameter there so that you guys won't be confused. Because when you see it on your question papers or whatever, you not forget that it means diameter, right? So I just written 15 millimeters diameter, but I then realized I'm going to be using a whiteboard marker, and then so it will be a little bit smaller. So I then used 14 centimeters, right? Yeah. So, but I just written this so that if you're using, let's say, a paper or something, you can just draw it, right? So let's go ahead, guys, and see what I mean by this, right? So now what you want to go and do is you want to go and align your T-square, right? And draw that starting line that we've been drawing, right? So now you select a point that you want to start at to draw your isometric box, right? Then you draw a line, then you want to measure that line and make sure that it's, let's say for this one was what? This one was 14 centimeters, right? So that it would be visible to all of us, right? So I've drawn my line that's 14 centimeters, right? Then I go ahead and also project another one, and I have to measure it, and it should be 14, right? Then you just join. That's also 14 centimeters. Now what you want to do is you want to come down. So I just realized that my T-square wasn't making a 90 degrees angle right there. So then I made a mistake there. As you can see, this is not a square, right? So I had to fix this later. So for you, if you know that you didn't make a square, you have to use your rubber and make sure that you produce a square, right? Because if you produce anything that's not a square, your isometric circle won't come out. It would come out with another shape, like the method wouldn't work, right? So you have to make sure that you're making an isometric square on an isometric box, right? With equal size, all the sides must be equal, right? So now we want to go ahead and draw the isometric circle, right? How to draw the circle, right? That will be our next step. So let me just fix that box and make it a square, right? Because I then realized that it wasn't a square. So let's go ahead and measure our 14, right? So our 14 is somewhere there, right? Then you go ahead with your T-square, right? And what you want to do is just erase that part which you had made a mistake, right? So you go ahead and then you align your T-square. Now it's more of a square now. Rather than that time, it wasn't straight. So now you want to come again and align that, right? So now it looks more like a square. I don't know if it's a square, but yeah, it's more like a square now. So now, after completing this isometric box, on that other tutorial, that's the method that we use to construct those circles, right? It's called an isometric box. So now what you want to do is you want to get the center of this square, right? So for me it would be 7 centimeters, right? That would be my center. So now you go ahead and draw your center line, right? Right. So now that's the horizontal center line, or the inclined center line, I don't know. But then now what you want to do is you want the vertical center line. So you also go ahead and measure your 7 centimeters, right? I don't know what measurements you'll be using, you guys. So you go ahead and measure your 7 centimeters, then you draw your other center line, right? So that's the other center line right there. Right, so now we have this isometric box. Now we want to go ahead and make and draw a circle. So what you do, I've just highlighted there. You draw a diagonal line from the left bottom corner to the right top corner, passing through the center line. Passing through the center, not the center line, passing through the center of the isometric box. Let me repeat it. You draw a diagonal line from the left bottom corner to the top right corner of your drawing, right? Passing through the center of the isometric box. It's that simple. So let's go ahead and draw that. You see that diagonal line is passing through the center, right, to that corner, right? So if it's not a square, the isometric box that you would have produced, it won't pass through that. So now what you want to do is you want to draw a line from the center line and that edge to the other corner of that, right? And we also want to draw another line like this, guys, right? As you can see. So now as you can see, we have those points, right, that have intersected with that diagonal line, right? So those lines, those intersection points, those are the points that we are going to use our compass. Hey, I don't know if that's the spelling of compass. I'm not sure. But yeah, so we are supposed to use our compass there, right? We use our compass there to get to draw the circle, right? So you go with your compass to that point, then you take any distance, right? You can just open your compass to that end or to that end, right? Then you draw that curve. Like if you just open your compass to that point and start drawing, trust me, that curve will come out like that. And then you go to that bottom part. You also repeat the same thing with your compass, right? Your compass, that item that pierces the paper will be on that point. Then your pencil will be on that side. So now on those two quadrants that are remaining, what you do is you go to that corner, right, with your compass and open it up to the center line, right? You open it to the center line and you draw your curve. You start from that point and then you should touch that point, right? I don't know, right? You see, it's coming out, right? I don't know if you can see that it's coming out. You see, that's how it would come out, right? So that's how you draw an isometric circle, right? Now we have our isometric circle. It's that simple. Like you just have to know the principles, right? Drawing is not that hard. There are principles. There are certain formulas that you need to follow. So that's just the formula, guys. So go ahead and follow that formula and everything will be done. So thank you, guys. If you don't understand anything, especially on this one, trust me, you can just meet with me and then I'll explain it to you or send me a message. I will reply it. Thank you so much. Stay blessed.